Hello, this is Joseline Nicholas. Welcome again to another market update for the month of October. So this month, prices continue to go up. If you've been following my market updates, you know that we did see an increase in September. However, what we're seeing in October is an even bigger increase. So this month of October, we did see some definitely new highs in the market. And let's dive into the data and see what those were. Okay, so let's look at the last 1 year on a monthly basis. So the graph you're looking at right now is the graph of the price of properties, the average price of a home in Ontario for the last 12 months. Actually, I shouldn't say for the last 12 months. We're looking at since the beginning of January 2020. So in January 2020, before the pandemic, the average price of a home in Ontario was $470. Now, prices were going up. Then we went into lockdown. Prices went down slightly to $465. However, since then, everybody was comfortable to go see homes again. Maybe not as comfortable, but the idea of looking at homes and listing and sell. So the market became active again. So prices started going up. And by December of 2020, the average price of a home was $574. So the price of a home had gone up by almost $100,000 just in 2020. The highest increase, though, was seen in January and February of 2021. So as you can see, between January and February, the prices went up by another $100,000. So by March of 2021, the average price of a home had increased from 480 to 680,000 in Ontario. What we did see, however, is in the spring and summer months, prices started to decline. So we had a much softer market. And during this time, if you've been following my market updates, you know I was encouraging all of my investor clients to buy, because this was a time when it was much easier to find deals, and we could easily find properties that we would buy and they would fit what the investor is looking for in terms of number crunching, making sure that the cash flow is there. So it was much easier to find those deals in the spring and summer months. So in April, the average price of a home was $670. I went up slightly in May to $675. However, in June, July, and August, prices were softer. So the prices was declining up to $660,000. However, in August, we did start to see things pick up. So in September, the average price of a home went up to $685. And now we are seeing a record-breaking number of $711,000 on average in Ontario. And these are all properties in Ontario. So let's take a quick look at single-family homes. So if we're looking at single-family homes, the average price of the single-family home in Ontario is $760,000. And that is a 26% increase from what it was in October of 2020. So in the last 12 months, prices have gone up 26%. This is why I'm always encouraging people to invest in real estate. What we've been seeing in the last 5 years is that, there's been very good returns on investment in real estate. For example, if you think of this 26% increase in the value of a property, usually ends up being a much higher return on your investment, because when you're investing in a property, you only get to give 20% down payment. So with 20% down payment, if the overall price of a home goes up by 26%, in most cases, you literally get 100% return on your investment within the first year, right? So this is basically why I'm always encouraging my clients to invest in real estate. It's one of the easy ways to build wealth, and I have a lot of people who are doing it. So another thing is, if you're a client who's been sitting on the sidelines, I have a few clients who've just been, watching the market, waiting to see where it goes. I always say that timing the market is not the best strategy, because when you're timing the market and trying to wait for when, things are, the market is softer, or you're waiting for just to wait for prices to go down. Because I'm telling you, like right now in the spring and summer months, it was so much easier to find deals. I did reach out to some of those clients and they were still waiting for the market to crash. Will the market crash? Nobody knows. The truth is we just have to know exactly what kind of deal you're looking for, and then we'll go out there and find it. So back to the topic here, the average price of a home went up by 26% in Ontario. So let's look at some of the markets that I'm very active in, which is Waterloo, Kitchener-Waterloo area, Guelph, and Hamilton. So we'll start with Waterloo region. And when I talk about Waterloo, I'm talking about Waterloo region, so that includes Cambridge. So in Waterloo region, on average, the average price of a home at all property types has gone up to $791,000. And this is all property types on average, including condos, townhouses, as well as semi-detached homes. So this is now at $791,000. That is a 34% increase from what it was in October of 2020. Let's look at single family homes. So if we exclude and look at exclusively single family homes, the average price of a single family home in Waterloo region is $900,000. Let that sink in. This is a new high. That is what I was saying. Like, I knew the prices were going up, but this, what we're seeing this month of October, is a new high. On average, if you're looking for single family home, detached home, you're going to be looking to spend $901,000 in Waterloo region. If we're looking at townhouses, townhouses have gone up to $703,000, and that's a 40% increase. 40% increase in the last 12 months alone. Condominiums, from what we can see here, prices went down. So right now we're looking at $446,000, and that's a 20% increase from what they were 12 months ago. And this is accurate because I know it was much easier in the last little bit to find good deals with condos. I don't know what it was. Sometimes the market does that, but it's very accurate. I did find that finding condos was much easier. I think it's probably because everybody who's moving out of GTA coming into Waterloo region, they want a house with a backyard. So the condos haven't gone up as much, but still it's a 20% increase. So if you had made an investment in a condo, still your property is going up. I always see condos as a good starting point. So if you can't afford that $900,000 home, get something for $440 in this case, and it goes up 20% and 20% another year. That way you can upgrade in 2 to 3 years. You can sell your condo and buy a detached home. So I feel like it's an easier way to get into the market. For semi-detached homes, the average price of a semi-detached home is at $685,000. That's a 34% increase since the last 12 months. So this is Waterloo region. Let's now look at Guelph. Okay, so now we're looking at Guelph. Let's look at all property types. So for all property types, the average price of a home in Guelph is $837,000, and that is a 35% increase in the last 12 months. If we look at single family homes, the average price of a single family home in Guelph is $905,000. That's a 28% increase from what prices were in the last 12 months, so in October of 2020. So as you can see, very similar story as we were saying, prices were going up. And then we did see a big jump in January of 2022. We did see a much softer market in the summer and spring months. It was up and down, but for the most part, if you're looking for a deal, you could find it. And the reason we're seeing an up and down here is because in Guelph, we did have little inventory. So because we didn't have inventory, there's very few homes on the market and people were fighting for those. So the price of a home in Guelph didn't go down as much as we were seeing in the graph of Waterloo region as well as Ontario in general, but it was also much easier to find a deal. And you can see from May of 2021 to now October, prices have gone up by $50,000, the average price of a home. So if I have clients who've been waiting to find or for the market to crash or something like that. So if you've waited for the last 6 months, easily you're paying $50,000 more for the same home that you could have bought for $850 in May of 2021. And if you had made the decision to buy in June, our prices were lower. If you had made the decision to buy in June, on average, you're paying 100,000 more. And to be honest, I am seeing this on the ground because as I was saying, I'm boots on the ground. I do have clients who had opportunities to buy properties for 800 in June, and now they're having to pay 900 in October. So that is a true story. And it's not just being experienced in the data. I am actually seeing this boots on the ground. Let's look at townhouses. So the average price of a townhouse in Guelph is now at 717,000, and this is a 31% increase since the last 12 months. So looking at condominiums, the average price of a condo is at 510. That's a 30% increase from October of 2021. If you're seeing a dip here, this was also very, very I should say real, or for me, I think what's an eye-opener here as I'm looking at this data is that this graph, the way it's moving, when you're in the market boots on the ground, you actually do experience it. You do see it happening. So I remember in April, for example, condos were sitting on the market for slightly longer. And that was the case as well in July, because I did have a condo that was on the market. We were seeing that things were sitting on the market slightly longer, or maybe instead of getting 10 offers, you'd get 3 or 2 offers, but that is not the case now. So right now, prices have gone slightly higher, and now the average price of a condo in Guelph is 510,000. If we're looking at semi-detached homes, the average price of a semi-detached home is 760,000. You guys, 760,000. This is for a semi-detached home. So this is kind of also like when I'm talking to my buyer clients and they have 750 budget, they want detached bungalow. But when we look at the data, and this is where I just come back to the data and say, look, this is what the numbers are saying, 760,000 for semi-detached home. And if you want a detached single family home, you're looking at 900,000. And that's the data in Guelph. Let's now take a quick look at Hamilton. So we're looking at the region of Hamilton, all properties, and this includes Stony Creek, Flamborough, Binbrook. So basically all of Hamilton is included in this picture. So similar story to that of Ontario, we had a much softer market. In the spring and summer, prices were going down. In June of 2021, the average price of a home in Hamilton was around 710,000. Right now, in October of 2021, the average price of a home is 775,000, and that is a 23% increase from what it was in October of 2020. If we were to dial it down and look at single family homes alone, the average price of a single family home in Hamilton is now at 845,000. So what's interesting to see right now is that if you're looking at a single family home, detached home in Hamilton, you're looking to spend about 850,000. If you go to Guelph, you're looking at 905,000. If you go to Waterloo region, you're looking at 901,000. So if you're in the 900s, you're better off looking, depending on what, because I'm speaking to the person who's looking to move from Toronto or from GTA to these 3 towns. If your budget is, let's say 900, we could look in Hamilton. No, we can look in, we can look in all 3 cities, Hamilton, Waterloo region, as well as Guelph. However, if your budget is tight at 850, we have better chances of finding something decent in Hamilton. The reason I'm also saying this is because I know I have a few clients who will be watching this video. They've been asking me, should I move to Kitchener, Guelph, or Hamilton? And the truth is, you have a much better chance of finding something decent in Hamilton. Not only that, the commute from Hamilton to Toronto is much faster. And if you're taking a bus or GO train, I know there's a bus every 30 minutes that goes from Hamilton to Toronto. So you have a better chance being in Hamilton than you have being in Guelph and Kitchener, Waterloo. However, if you're driving to work, you are better off being, I find, if you're driving to work, into going to GTA in rush hour, I think you have better chances being in Guelph and Kitchener-Waterloo. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you're in Guelph and Kitchener-Waterloo, you'll be taking the 401. But if you are in Hamilton, you have to take the 403. And I find that the 403 is busier than the 401. That's just my take. So it really just depends. And but from a price perspective, you have a better chance of getting a decent house in Hamilton because the average price is $850. That being said, to be honest, I still have my ways of getting deals. So if you're looking to relocate to these 3 towns, let me know. We have our ways of going in there, making sure that our clients are getting the best deals. Just let me know and I will do my best to find you something decent. So if we're looking at townhouses, the average price of a townhouse in Hamilton is right now at $721,000. The average price of a condo is now around $510,000, which is similar to that in Guelph. And the average price of a semi-detached home is now at $720,000. This is a 36% increase in the price of semi-detached homes in the last 12 months. From an investment perspective, this is really good news, especially if you've already invested. However, and this is also good news for sellers. If you've been sitting on a property waiting to sell, I think this is also a perfect time to sell because we have very, very little inventory out there. I'll have a listing actually coming up in Bimbrook. It's a small town in Hamilton. And I was looking last week to see who my competition is. And in a 500-meter radius, there was no other home on the market last week. And when there's only one home, and I know there's a lot of people who are looking to buy these homes because I was speaking to the agent who recently sold a home in Bimbrook, and he was telling me he had 50 showings. So you have 50 showings for one home, and in a 500-meter radius, there's not one home for sale. So all these buyers who are looking to buy will be fighting for this one home. So that's why I'm speaking to sellers and saying, if you've been waiting to sell, this is such a great time to sell because we don't know if this market will continue like this. So that's a quick market update for Hamilton, Waterloo, and Guelph. If you have any questions about any other cities, let me know. I do have the data for those cities as well. But just because I wanted to keep this video short, I'm not going to go into any other cities. However, I have the data. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you again for watching this video. We'll chat with you soon. Bye.